We all have that dream trip we've been wishing we could go on, but too often life, or usually price, gets in the way. That's why Priceline is here to help you turn your dream trip into reality. With up to 60% off hotels and up to 50% off flights, you can book everything you need for your next adventure. Don't just dream about that next trip. Book it with Priceline. Download the Priceline app or visit Priceline.com and book your next trip today.
Go to your happy price, Priceline.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Listening to this podcast? Smart move. Being financially savvy? Smart move. Another smart move? Having State Farm help you create a competitive price when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
We're whistling the goats and taking Crime 101 at Wuthering Heights. I'm Van Connor.
And I'm Adam Ball, and this is Offscreen, your 7-day guide to everything movies.
Boom!
Groovy.
Hello and welcome back to another week of Offscreen, and we are going to start exactly where we start every week, and that is with the UK and Ireland top 10 movies. So let's have a look and see where we are. At number 10, 28 years later, The Bone Temple. 4 weeks it's been out. 7.5 million nearly on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I know you're a big fan of the 28 series, as it's now called, but we didn't get to do the top 10 last week. We picked up on the story of the audiences from the States a couple of weeks ago, didn't we, when they were all dressing up and didn't quite get it. The discourse around 28 years later has generally settled kind of now. It's settled on being resolutely positive. There are people who think it's actually the best of the saga. Like, it does seem to have grabbed people, particularly on the American side. I've noticed the Americans seem to sort of more academically love it than we do, where I think we unfairly contrast it with the original, I think, in a sense, because it's more iconic to us. But to the Americans, they seem to prefer this one. I think it's a very good movie, though, and a very good follow-up to a very good reboot as well. I can't wait for the third on this. Have you seen Bone Temple yet?
No, Saturday night, seeing it on Saturday.
That's your Valentine's Day. Your Valentine's Day is 28 years later, The Bone Temple.
That's exactly what it is. We're going to afternoon tea, first of all, at the Randolph Hotel, and then we're going to see that. So, a bit of both.
You're going to see... Okay, I promise, The Bone Temple is the only bone in your evening that night. That's all I'm saying. It's the only thing I'm saying. Number 9, I won't have got a chance to review. This wasn't pressure, and it's Iron Lung. Do you know about this one at all?
No, I don't.
Okay, so this is that YouTube personality, the Markiplier, I think he is. He's got something like 10 million, 12 million followers, something like that. And because of his staggering amount of fame, he managed to fund this movie that he has self-distributed and actually put into cinema chains. And it's one of the most successful indie ventures in years. This thing made 17 mil on its opening weekend, cost 2 or 3 mil to make, and had no marketing budget. It's just this guy doing podcast interviews, which because he's a YouTuber, obviously everyone wanted to do. The guy even designed his own 3D printed popcorn bucket, put the pattern out online, and told the 3D printing community, hey, print your buckets and bring them to the screening. Because all the 3D printing nerds I follow on TikTok, we're all doing it. And I was like, what the hell is this Iron Lung thing? But that's the only reason I know about it, just to give you an idea of how plugged in I am to popular culture. But
I think that's an indication of what's to come, I think that's how new movies will be in 5-10 years. I think a lot of them are going to go that way.
The chicken shop ladies, Amelia Dimitrov, I've got the long name, begins with D. Does the Chicken Shop Date series on YouTube. She's
I know.
you know who I mean. She's just signed a film deal this week. She's actually going to write a movie about a celebrity influencer who sort of finds her way into her own rom-com. Sort of celebrity interviewer, basically her, fictionalized her. Okay, fair enough. I can't wait.
And she'll have the following for the audience to go and watch it.
I can't wait for Hot Ones, the movie, in 2 years' time. Watch that actually happen now. Number 8, Avatar: Fire and Ash. Well, it's up for Oscars. Everyone who's going to see it has seen it. Apparently, it's made half what the first one did in total so far. In the UK, its total takings are just under 42 mil. And it's crossed the billion mark, but it's still going to land about half of what the original makes. But that's passage of time. That's people who are accustomed to it, the streaming revolution, things like that. Number 7, Marty Supreme. Out for 7 weeks. Genuine question. Obviously, I hang out with mostly film people. and you work in a radio station where you work with effectively normal, everyday human beings.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
I mean, comparatively. Comparative to me. You work with more normal human beings. Have you ever actually met anyone who's seen Marty Supreme?
Nope, not a single person.
No.
And I don't think there's anyone that would know what it was.
That's what I thought. Thank you. I just wanted to confirm that theory. I think it's crap, but it's up for all the Oscars, and all the Cardigans loved it. And Timmy Chalamet will win the Best Actor Oscar for it, I'm convinced. Number 6, someone who'll never win Best Actor, sadly. The Statham in Shelter. Jason Statham is an ex-assassin, and this time his new job is nothing. He's just a guy who lives in a lighthouse, but he comes out of retirement for one last mission to protect a little girl, in this case, from his ex-employers. It's always his ex-employers. What am I on about? It's always his ex-employers who are trying to kill him. Has the man ever gracefully left a job in a movie?
No, I think that's exactly it. I think he has
it's
to
weird,
run.
isn't it? Yeah, but good fun, like vintage Statham. Number 5, Zootropolis 2, or Zootopia 2, whatever you want to call it. 11 weeks out, 33.3 million quid. You've seen this now?
And I started to watch it with my son last weekend. We only had the first 45 minutes or so because it was bedtime and he was tired.
Right.
And then he went back to his mum's, and I had a message from his mother yesterday saying, what was the movie you put on at the weekend? He really wants to watch the rest of it.
Well, she's not a member of the press, so she doesn't get access to these things, you see, that's how it works. Number 4, Hamnet, which I really like. Jessie Buckley will win Best Actress for this, I'm pretty sure. Watch this space on that one. Number 3, I actually got to rewatch this at home this past weekend because it's quite digital now. The Housemaid with Sydney Sweeney, which is just glorious trash, just wonderful trash. You know what I mean? Like, you know exactly what this movie is going in. You know it's single white female, it's Hand That Rocks the Cradle, it's Gone Girl, it's all those things mashed up in a shiny new, made for Gen Z kind of package. Only the psycho is a millennial in this case, like Amanda Seyfried. It's so wonderfully trashy that there's a point in which Sydney Sweeney is smashing up someone's crockery, their fancy china, and she actually holds up a gravy boat. She says, "Is this a gravy boat? I love gravy. I didn't even know they made these," and then smashes it. Now, if you didn't know that they made gravy boats, why would you call one a gravy boat?
Yeah.
Just a weird thing that occurred to me. Never mind.
Because naturally you'd say gravy jug, wouldn't you?
Yeah, gravy pot, gravy... Yeah. Anyway, don't let that put you off. Don't let that little nitpick put you off what's otherwise a very fun movie. And guys, Sydney Sweeney is very much catering to her audience on this one. Just putting that out there. Number 2, Stray Kids, The Dominant Experience. I don't know what that is. Dominant?
I think I want to know.
I don't. They didn't show it to me. I don't know what it is. I don't want to ask. Number 1. I'm so happy this is number 1. Send Help, the new Sam Raimi movie, which is misery on a desert island with douchebag boss and put upon employee, and he gets a broken leg. I loved this movie. I can't wait to see this movie again. It's so much fun.
So that is the UK and Ireland current top 10. If you want to go and check any of those out, you can. So we have got Crime 101, Wuthering Heights, Whistle, all to look at soon. But let's dive into our first movie, Goat. So this is an animal animated adventure.
God, I just looked at the cast list on this as you were saying that, because I'm not going to bury I hated this movie. And there's a lot of people involved in the movie where I'm just like, that figures that it was that person, because I can't stand that person. It's very much one of those. Okay, right. So, this is a Sony animation feature. Sony obviously created K-pop Demon Hunters, Into the Spider-Verse, Mitchells and the Machines, I think was originally one of theirs. They work with a signature style, right? This is not one of that quality marker, but they have slowed the frame rate down on the movie so that you are tricked into believing that it is. Okay? It's quite a nasty little trick. So, this is best described as a sort of a cheap knockoff of Zootopia. So you've got kind of the world of animals like Zootopia. And it follows a young boy named Will Harris. He's like 15, 16-year-old boy. He's a goat. He's a talking goat. And he wants to play basketball. He happens to be a very good basketball player. And he gets the chance to play for his favourite team. Because he's a child wunderkind. And I don't know what the child labour laws are in this animal world, but I don't know. I mean, because he is literally a kid. He's a goat, and a young boy. He is therefore a kid. He is the definition of a kid. Anyway, he goes and he plays for the basketball team, and he starts to ignore his friends and learn about the hero he really worships. And, do you know what? I'm bored just telling you about it. Have a listen. This is the clip from an animated goat movie.
This is where I want to be at. What is that? This could be in a room. Yeah, baby. We chilling in the penthouse. 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 Oh, yeah, this is the place.
Hey, look who it is.
Yo, hold up. You guys ain't gonna believe this place. Yo, bros. We got a 95-inch TV in the living room. You see that? All right. TV on the toilet. Even has a remote. Unsanitary, but it's cool. Stop. Bad toilet. And last but not least, TV in the mini bar.
Oh, so what's up with the floor seats? You said courtside?
Well, with the way things have been going, I'm even still on the team in a week. I mean, I'll try to find you some tickets.
Do you know, the impression I'm getting from that is it's trying to be funny, but each time doesn't quite hit the mark.
No, you can hear it in the clip, right?
Yeah.
You can actually hear it really desperately straining in the clip. That lead, by the way, the voice of Will Harris, who all the way through the movie I just kept thinking, oh God, this guy just sounds annoying. Turns out to be Caleb McLaughlin from Stranger Things. He's one of the kids from Stranger... Yeah, he's the African-American kid from Stranger Things, who, I mean, to be fair, I can't call him the most annoying character on Stranger Things, because they're all annoying to me on Stranger Things. You know what I mean? I have no time for it. You've also got producer Steph Curry. Basketball legend Steph Curry in the mix as well, providing a voice. Aaron Pierre turns up. Nicola Coughlan, David Arbor, Nick Kroll, Pat Nussel. Annoyingly, you also sadly get Jelly Roll in there as well. So it's one of those movies. Nothing lands here. It literally, everything bounces off the backboard on this one. None of the shots land. Nothing works. The animation is hideous. The characters are just annoying. The writing is bad. I mean, you heard that clip. The writing is bad. This doesn't even have the good fortune to at least be so bad it's good. Like, for instance, recently Primate, which, did you notice that wasn't in the top 10, by the way? It's a weird one.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
Kill a monkey movie, people. Come on. This is why we can't have nice things. We don't get nice things because you don't show up when we do. Bloody Primate. Oh, I tell you. But no, GOAT is... I mean, obviously the whole genesis of this is... Well, they use the term GOAT in basketball, don't they? Because greatest of all time. And then presumably someone found out there was a Zootopia 2 coming and thought, what if we did that? But our GOAT was actually a GOAT. You're like, oh, good. That's the level of thought that went... Yeah, genuinely the level of thought that went into this. It is bad. I mean, it is 2 stars having beginning, middle, and end, as I like to say. But I guarantee you, if I put this on for my nephew, he'd be bored in half an hour and either leave the room or want me to put something else on.
Well, if you want to go and be bored, you can watch GOAT in cinemas from today. Right, we are going to look at the new movie called Whistle next. It's a horror, and we'll see what Van thought about it. Stay there.
Tax Act understands you haven't memorized the tax code. That's why Tax Act has live experts to help. Tax Act can even do it for you if you prefer. It's the easiest way to know you're doing it right. Well, other than going back to college and obtaining a bachelor's degree in accounting with a minor in finance, then interning somewhere and becoming fluent in all tax forms. But that might be hard to accomplish before tax day. So maybe just stick with Tax Act. Tax Act. Let's get them over with.
We heard you. 9 years of Bring Back the Snack Wrap, and you've won. But maybe you should have asked for more. Say hello to the Hot Honey Snack Wrap. Now you've really won. Go to McDonald's and get it while you can.
Hello and welcome back to Off Screen. We're going to check out the new Wuthering Heights movie in a bit, but right now let's dive into a horror with Van. It's called Whistle and it is out in cinemas from today. So where do you want to start with this one, Van?
So this is the... I'll start with it from the angle I came at it from, which is this is the latest movie from horror director Corin Hardy, who's been around for about a decade now and kind of really first burst onto the scene with The Hallows in, I think that was about 2016, which, great poster artwork, great concept, the forest coming alive and trying to kill a family in a cabin, stuff like that. Very folksy kind of thing going for it. Great concept, great design, just didn't quite work, was a little bit convoluted. But directorially very impressive. So enough that I kind of remembered who he was when he made the next movie and deliberately made the effort to go and see it. Since gone on to Gangs of London, for instance, worked on that quite a bit, and also directed the Conjuring spin-off, The Nun, which is, one of the better Conjuring spin-offs, to be fair, because, great director in this case. Now, his new movie, Whistle, follows a group of misfit teenagers. Like, find your cliche in this one, right? You're gonna have this moment a lot. Find your cliche. Group of misfit teenagers. So you've got the POV character, who is Chrysanthemum, her name is. She's played by Daphne Keane, who, I don't know if you've had this very strange experience in the last year or so. Were you a Logan fan at all? Like,
no.
The Wolverine. So there's an actress who was like the tween child in Logan, like 10 years ago, and like went away for a number of years and had come back in the last year as this in her 20s goddess level Latina beauty. And she stars in the Percy Jackson TV series. She's also the lead in this. So she stars as a teenage girl who has moved to a small town following the death of her mother, the death of her parents, I think. She's gone to live with her cousin, who's kind of the token stoner type. He introduces her to a gang at school. They get into it. They all land in detention. And before they can get to detention, she happens to find in her locker, which she inherited from a recently dead student, I think it's an ancient Peruvian or Aztec. It's an Aztec death whistle. That, they're all like gathered around in detention. They blow, and then what do you think happens? They all start to get picked off one by one, but not before, it's worth noting. Their teacher sort of swipes it away and has a pop on it. Do you know who plays the teacher, Adam? You're going to love this. It's Hollywood You.
Is it? Yeah. Oh, yes, it is. Nick Frost.
It's Hollywood. It's Nick Frost. It's Hollywood's own Adam Ball. It's Nick Frost.
I'm a little bit younger, I'll have you know.
No, you're wrong. You are better looking a man than Nick Frost. It has to be said. It's just that he has the same sort of aesthetic with the but especially because in this movie he's got the glasses as well, so it's even more glaring than usual. Pardon the pun, it's glaring glasses. But yeah, so Death picks them off one by one. It's Final Destination. It's Soul Survivors. It's Ouija. Take your pick. Here's a clip.
Is that a part? No. Can you translate any of it?
To talk, it can also mean to...
Summon the dead.
Go for it, babe. I dare you.
Do it. I think I'm gonna pass on the whole ghost summoning death whistle.
Listen, you guys hear that?
The day you are born, so is your death. If you hear the whistle scream, dying is not a choice.
Please tell me that Nick Frost has got some chuckle lines in this and he's not playing it straight the whole way through.
Oh, no, he's playing it like a bit of a sort of comedic, lovable douchebag teacher.
Good.
There's a couple of little bits. And to be fair, he is kind of the big name in the film. Like, he's the most recognisable person in the film. Outside of Daphne Keane, you'd have to know Logan, you'd have to know things. And Michelle Fairley you could hear in the clip as well, and she was... Who's Mama Stark in... Mama Lannister, sorry, in Game of Thrones? I can't remember the character's name. Sean Bean's wife in Game of Thrones, you know what I mean? But...
I don't watch Game of Thrones.
Bloody hell, you never watched... Okay, I'm not even going to get into that. Right, this is basic bitch boilerplate fun. Right? Like, this is by the numbers. This is not a revelatory film at all. You have seen this movie a dozen times, but it's being directed with sort of an elevated flair. It's kind of conceptually, it's kind of reductive versus the kind of thing like that Corin Hardy would normally do. But because he brings that directorial heft that he had from the other way too complicated films to something this basic, all of a sudden the balance lines up. And Corin Hardy's most basic and unchallenging film then becomes his most outright entertaining one. Okay, I can go with this. So your central pairing really are Daphne Keane and I think it's Sophie Nélisse. Sophie Nélisse, who I couldn't recognise the longest time in the film, and then I realised it was Yellow Jackets. She's one of the young ladies in Yellow Jackets as well. And there's actually quite an intriguing LGBT element in this as well. The only problem is the movie falls apart when it starts playing by Nightmare on Elm Street rules, in terms of like how you can kind of play the threat on its own. It gets a bit silly at that point, but it's won you over enough by that stage that you can't really complain. The jumps are there, you know what I mean? Like, it will make you jump a good few times. Like, it's a great date movie. If you want a date movie for Valentine's Day, actually, this might be the kind of perfect one. Because it's also kind of forgettable enough. Like, you'll see it, you'll have a really good time watching it. You know what I mean? Like, you know those ones, you're not going to be sat around the pub for 3 hours afterwards debating this like you were Oppenheimer. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that makes absolute sense. And these sort of are the kind of Saturday night after you've had a nice meal somewhere, go and dive into a cinema and watch this. I mean, me personally, I'm just a little bit disappointed that Nick Frost hasn't got, like, loads of comedy in it, because I just feel that would be a really good mix.
Frost is only actually in about 2 big scenes in the movie. To be fair, like, if he filmed a weekend on this, I'd be shocked. You know what I mean? He's obviously filmed this. He and Michelle Fairley have obviously been the big name hires, I think, on this. Like, they got the big amount of the cast money, kind of thing, and the rest of the actual lead of the movie probably got a fifth of what Nick Frost did. Like, clearly one of those. We'll bung him £500,000 for a weekend. He'll love us. He'll pay his mortgage for the year, and he'll give us a good time. It's very much that kind of a thing. Like I say, very effective, and very effective, atmospheric, chilling whilst you are watching it, but not enough that you will remember it, particularly half an hour after you've watched it. It's a solid ride while you're on it, but you know what I mean? You're not going to be like reliving that roller coaster.
Might be fun in 4DX though.
Might be, actually. Might genuinely be a great 4D. I don't think this one is a 4DX, because one thing, I think it's a Lionsgate one, isn't it? But, I don't think this one is a 4DX, sadly.
Well, Whistle, if you fancy it, is out in cinemas from today if you want to check it out. 2 movies left to go this week. We're going to look at Crime 101 in a little while, but we'll see what the new Wuthering Heights is like next. Hello and welcome back to Off Screen then. We're going to look at Crime 101, which is out in cinemas from now, this Friday, in a moment. But we're going to look at the new Wuthering Heights, first of all. Where do you want to start with this one, Van?
Yeah, that's a question, isn't it? Where do you want to start? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Un film d'Emerald Fennell. So I believe this is the 3rd film from British writer-director Emerald Fennell after Promising Young Woman and Saltburn. Neither of which were quiet releases. They were both quite big movies, in their own separate ways. Emerald Fennell has since gained something of a brand, which will say I think she's regarded as being a bit annoying and a bit of a pseudo-toff. Like, she's kind of a upper-class girl, kind of given the shots. And all of which is a way of leading to the point that this is not a straight adaptation of the Charlotte Bronte novel of the same name, Wuthering Heights. This is allegedly Emerald Fennell's interpretation of what she remembers of the novel Wuthering Heights. I don't know when the last time Emerald Fennell read Wuthering Heights was, but I have a feeling we can all take some educated guesses based on things I could tell you about this movie. Right. So, what is your knowledge of Wuthering Heights, generally?
Not a lot, really. Kate Bush sang a song about it.
I thought, I presume, well, I was going to say you're a radio guy, so I presume your first instinct would be Kate Bush. But yeah. Frankly, this would make about as much sense being a Kate Bush biopic, to be honest, with that title, than it would actually being a straight adaptation. You've got Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi as the iconic characters of Kathy and Heathcliff. If you do not know the story, Heathcliff is a ethnically ambiguous, never really identified, but not a traditionally Caucasian character who is, as a boy, brought into the home of the Earnshaws. They live at Wuthering Heights in West Yorkshire. If I know a guy in West Yorkshire, writes the Yorkshire Post, his name is Tony Earnshaw. Maybe just a common name. Heathcliff is taken into the home of Kathy. They're about sort of comparable age, and he is effectively given to her by her father as a pet. Not making that up. She's literally told, this is your pet. Dad, by the way, is played by Martin Clunes. Bit of a drunk, likes to gamble. Years go by. The family, the family fortune is what little they had has kind of dwindled in the years since Mum's death and Heathcliff's arrival. Also, the death of her brother in this version, who was actually a character, as far as I remember, in the book and the Laurence Olivier version. I mostly know the Laurence Olivier version. Years later, it is about the relationship that starts to form between Kathy and their new rich neighbour, Mr. Linton, who, upon meeting her, because, of course, she looks like Margot Robbie, is immediately besotted by her and wants to marry her. She is in love with Heathcliff, however, but because of his standing, she cannot be with him. It would, as she says, degrade her, which I believe is a line, I was told this by Clarice Loughery, is a line from Jane Eyre and not from Wuthering Heights. Remember, this is what the writer remembers of the book. She's confusing a lot of things. He disappears, comes back years later with a fortune, and all bets are off as his relationship devolves into a Macbethian cascade of backstabbing and revenge. I've got a clip for you. Remember, I've just told you this is an ethnically ambiguous character. He is being played by Jacob Elordi from Saltburn. Just putting that out there. So bear that in mind as you listen to this clip of two Australians playing two people from West Yorkshire.
It would be nice to be rich. What should you do, Heathcliff?
What?
If you were rich?
Suppose I'd do what all rich men do. I'd live in a big house and be cruel to my servants. Take a wife.
A wife? What wife?
I've always looked fondly on Rose from the Crown.
The landlord's daughter. She's quite the plainest girl I ever laid eyes on, and dull too. Shockingly dull. She's practically a simpleton. I cannot sit here all day talking nonsense with you. After all, the Lintons may call on me at any moment.
I think his accent's all right, actually.
His accent's great, actually.
No.
Yeah. His accent's great, isn't it? Like, he's got that down. Actually, the weirdest thing is, it works less visually than it does to hear it. To simply hear the like, that's passable enough on her part and very good on his part. Fine. To actually physically witness them, though, is quite strange. And that's when you get into, first of all, the aesthetic of this, which is so overblown. And I do mean overblown. Like, you've presumably got the trailer playing on the screen above me, I think, on mute. As you can see, every shot in this movie looks like she went and found an anime, like a manga adaptation of Wuthering Heights, and then adapted all the imagery and none of the story. There is literally half the story in the film. This is also true of the Olivier version as well, which there is an entire second generation of characters. The Heathcliff, Kathy thing, they are the first generation. There is then also a second generation. The second generation of characters almost never get put into the film adaptations. And I would genuinely cause that to maybe inform the belief that maybe Emerald Fennell remembers movie adaptations of Wuthering Heights better than she remembers Wuthering Heights. Now, that's the aesthetic. Scripting side, actually not bad. Not terribly bad. Actually, I was kind of compelled. I was going along with it. It knew what it was, in that it was playing for the sleaze factor. And I was like, cool. I mean, if you're going to go with the overblown imagery, do the sleaze factor as well. I don't mind that. You're already doing the overblown thing. The fact that you've got two spray-tanned, veneer-sporting Australians playing these characters should already tell me that I'm not really in this for authenticity. You know what I mean? Like quite. I mean, it's very telling that Martin Clunes has these exaggerated, like, rotted teeth, and everyone else in the room has like the most perfect Colgate smile. You know what I mean? It's the most bizarre, like, jarring thing. You've then got the performances, and to be fair, outside of the accents, what do you really need for this one? Well, dramatic poise is not really anything that you specifically need in an Emerald Fennell movie. It's more about playing arch. So that's actually a lot easier to do than straight drama. However, Margot Robbie looks great in a series of corsets. Jacob Elordi gives good smolder, and the whole thing's building to a lot of over a prolonged montage, featuring a number of acts that very specifically tell you that this was written by a millennial woman that came from a relatively privileged background. You know, like, I would pay good money, genuinely good money, to read Emerald Fennell's, I'm sure there must be one, FetLife profile. because I can only imagine it must be the most boring read. Having said that, because we live in such a sanitized time anyway, simply having this amount of sex in a movie is actually still quite impressive, but that's only because we have such a low bar. There's a way of depicting the demise of one of the characters in this that genuinely evokes a line from Peter Griffin in Family Guy. And I don't think that was intended. I clearly cannot have been intended, because you will never convince me that Emerald Fennell has ever watched an episode of anything by Seth MacFarlane. The score for the whole thing is Charlie XCX, I believe. Is it Charlie? I think it's Charlie XCX has contributed the songs for this. And so you have that anachronistic kind of Gatsby thing, where it's playing modern sounding music over the period piece, windswept, slow-mo, everything has been storyboarded to buggery, capes flowing in the wind kind of vibe. Like, so much so that you do feel like you're watching a music video for long periods of time. And all of this is a preamble for me saying, I actually really dug this. I had a great time with it. I mean,
wow.
I can sit back and pick it to pieces with only a cursory memory of the text. I will admit that after seeing it, I did actually go and just look up the Wikipedia synopsis on the novel. Like, I knew that was in there somewhere and things like that. The one thing everyone was talking about coming out of this was, and isn't it weird that I didn't include the ghost of Kathy and all that stuff? Yeah, because obviously even in the Laurence Olivier version, that's quite an iconic bit of it. And I think I had to watch the Olivier version at uni. I think it was an introduction to film adaptation. It was about how they had ditched half the story, kind of a thing. But they weren't getting a Dune Part 2. You know what I mean? Like, that wasn't going to happen in those days. But I actually think taking this on its own merits, which is to take this as not an adaptation of Wuthering Heights, but simply to take it as a different version of Wuthering Heights, in the same way that I do not take Iron Man or Captain America the First Avenger to be straight adaptations of those characters. Because you've heard me do this on comic book movies all the time. They are not faithful. And we're kind of better off that they aren't in some cases. You know what I mean? There's a lot. Thor would be a very good example, for instance, where, you have to change it for it to work for a modern audience. And yeah, this is quite clearly leaning more into the, what is it Ari Gold used to say in Entourage? You ever read one of those books, Booksy? Guy can't get the girl for 10 years because those were the times. And you know what? This is Emerald Fennell's millennial version of that. This is, because it's Galentine's, this comes out Friday, which is Galentine's Day. Are you familiar with Galentine's Day?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right. This is the Galentine's Day pick, and then it's the actual Valentine's Day pick. It's going to work for either audience. I think it's going to get the swoon factor for all the ladies on Galentine's night. So it's going to make a fortune then. And then it'll make even more for all of the clearly unexcited going into it boyfriends and husbands of the world who are going to be made to go and see it. And you know what? I think if they go into it with the mindset that I've just described, just take this as this is MCU Wuthering Heights, you'll have a blast. Because I did. To be honest, I was like, you know what? I'm digging this. This is fun. I'm down with it. She's got the corsets. He's got the smolder. Fennell's sticking all the in there. Cool. I'm down. And then you get Martin Clunes kind of having a ball as well, as dad. Great times. I had fun. I'd recommend it.
So it knows what it is. As long as you know what it is, you'll enjoy it.
Exactly.
And it is in cinemas from today. Right, our final movie of the week. We are going to see what Van thought to the movie Crime 101. You can guess what it is. It's a crime heist drama thriller, and we'll see what you thought.
Rom-com, isn't it? Crime 101 rom-com. Yeah.
We'll be back.
Tomorrow.
I love him. Whatever our souls are made of, his and mine are the same.
Experience the greatest love story of all time.
Why did you leave me?
Why did you betray your own heart?
A film by Emerald Fennell.
Heathcliff.
Kathy.
Margot Robbie, Jacob Elordi.
Kiss me and let us both be damned.
Wuthering Heights. Original songs by Charlie XCX. Only in theaters tomorrow. Experience it in IMAX. Rated R. Under 17. Not admitted without parent.
This message may be shocking to many millennials. If you are one, you might want to sit down. Right now, loads of people are searching the following on Depop. Low-rise jeans, halter top, velour tracksuit, puka shell necklace, disc belt. You likely placed these in the dark of your closet in 2004, never to be seen again. But if you can find it in yourself to dust them off, there are a lot of people who will give you money for them. Sell on Depop, where taste recognizes taste.
Hello and welcome back to Off Screen then. For one last ride, we are going to dive into the movie Crime 101 right now, which is a crime thriller. So I don't know anything about this. I haven't even seen the trailer for this one, but the poster looks good.
Well, actually, they've been marketing this quite widely. I mean, it looks like kind of a January release, but, done in February, obviously. So it's got a little bit more going for it. It stars Chris Hemsworth, Halle Berry, and Mark Ruffalo. Oh, and Barry Keoghan as well. So they're kind of your 4 stars here. And this is kind of an old school, very late 90s style, sticker bunch of sort of mid-level stars and a mid-level budget, cop and crim heist movie. Heist thriller in which the heist guy, the criminal wants to rob this place. The cop is going through his series of crimes trying to find the guy, stumbles upon where the next robbery is going to be. Is he going to be able to pull off this robbery? Is the cop going to get him instead? And we kind of get the movie from 4 angles really, of all 4 of those actors I've just named. So you've got Hemsworth as the robber. You've got Halle Berry as the sort of lady inside the insurance company that he starts to get to know and charm and maybe seduce into his scheme. You've got Mark Ruffalo as the grizzled, divorcing detective who's gonna, try and catch him. You've got Barry Keoghan as the rival criminal who's more or less just out to get Chris Hemsworth as well as take his job from him. Said job this time, I think, being the theft of priceless diamonds from a rich guy, played by Tate Donovan, Jimmy Cooper from the OC, yo. Tate Donovan is the rich guy getting married in this I think it's the Beverly Wilshire, bringing in $5.5 million worth of diamonds for party favors for his bride's friends, and have to be insured, etc. So have a listen. This is Cop and Crim in the car together. Cop suspects Crim. Crim suspects Cop. Neither really know at this stage. Have a listen.
I was a kid. I dreamt about having a Mustang.
Like Steve McQueen.
Yeah. Yeah, Steve McQueen. It's funny, a guy your age wouldn't normally know who Steve McQueen is.
I grew up watching those movies.
What's your favorite?
I'd say Bullet, the chases.
Yeah, mine's Thomas Crown Affair. McQueen plays a high-class thief.
I'm getting kind of early Mission Impossible vibes from this. Am I along the right lines?
I don't know about first Mission Impossible. I think that's giving it way too much, way too much kind of praise. It's really not that. It's closer to. I mean, it really wants to be Heat. If you could hear the dialogue in there, the sort of banter, the level they're going for, it's played with all that gravel and gravitas of wanting to be the similar sequence from Heat where De Niro meets Pacino in the coffee shop, and De Niro says, "Don't ever let yourself get attached to anything that you can't walk out on in 30 seconds flat when you feel it heat coming around the corner." That line, nothing quite as cool as that, but you can tell they're trying for it. It's directed by Bart Layton, who did that sort of narrative documentary, The Imposter, a few years ago, and the other narrative documentary of note from the similar period, which I really loved, American Animals, with Barry Keoghan and Evan Peters, which if you've never ever seen, definitely watch. That was one of my favourite movies that year. From his documentary background, he lends himself quite well to an almost Michael Mann style. I mean, it's got a bit too much gloss to really be Michael Mann, and as such, it sort of tips it closer to being Den of Thieves, but it's nowhere near as fun as Den of Thieves because it's still trying to be as serious as Heat. So you know what I mean? It's kind of Den of Heat in a strange way because it kind of sits on the spectrum between the two. Performance is perfectly fine. You got this cast. I mean, Ruffalo's the best one. Obviously, you're most intrigued when Ruffalo's on screen, just doing his faux Columbo shtick. Incidentally, Why have we not cast Ruffalo as Columbo yet? He'd be
Yeah.
the perfect Columbo. He'd be an amazing. Do a Columbo movie with Mark Ruffalo. Just do like a Knives Out type thing, but it's Columbo and it's Mark Ruffalo. I'd watch the crap out of that.
Yeah, I
just,
agree.
Just
I would.
one more thing. Just one. Before you go, just all of that. It'd be great. With the trench coat and the notebook, it'd be amazing. Anyway, but yeah, good time. Some great driving sequences in there, because you heard them referencing Bullet in the clip, the Steve McQueen movie Bullet. Yeah, that's very specifically name drops so that they can get to do some car sequences in this that are really solid. It's like best I've seen since Baby Driver, and I guess, like, in terms of like really great stunt work. Hemsworth, perfectly functional, kind of charismatic enough, boilerplate lead. Barry's not doing much in the way of different. The big scene stealer after Ruffalo, actually, is Barry Keoghan, who's just swinging from the rafters, going nuts. He's having a ball, clearly. Like, he is a guy, you can see that man is enjoying his day at work. Like, every time he's pistol whipping people, you can just see this man is enjoying his job. Like, and it really, she's got the psychotic blonde hair and these ridiculous hot pink biker outfits and things that he wears. He looks nuts, and he sells it so well. Yeah, I mean, like, Ruffalo and Keoghan are the reasons to see this, but you do have to put up with half the movie being about Hemsworth and Halle Berry, which are still, at worst, just fine, I guess.
Well, Crime 101 is out in cinemas from today. If you want to go and check that out, maybe this weekend or next weekend.
Should I just explain, by the way? The reason it's Crime 101 is actually a pun. So, if you go to a US college, you take a course, and it's 101 is the first class. Like, you take Math 101, for instance, Crime 101. Yeah. But in this case, this guy is committing these heists within a certain distance of the 101 freeway. So there you go. So it's a pun that just doesn't work outside of anyone with a working knowledge of US motorways. So, yeah, there you go.
Or anyone who has never watched the movie, I suppose, as well, as far as this country goes. But it's in cinemas from today, if you want to go and see it. Let's have a little look ahead to next week. Anything big to talk about next week?
Well, next week we have got I don't know if it's a mockumentary or a film or what. It's called The Moment, and it stars Charlie XCX, who is just in everything at the moment.
Yeah.
She's also got, I'm not sure if it's her or Billie Eilish that James Cameron's got a concert movie on the way with as well. We also have The Secret Agent, which I haven't seen yet, and has actually gotten a fair few Oscar nods. It's on my whiteboard in the living room. Was like the last 4 Oscar films I've yet to watch, so that's one I can take off the list. We've got a new documentary about Paul McCartney next week called Man on the Run, which I think is getting a limited theatrical run and is then going to Amazon Prime the following week. We've got a new British, I think it's a sci-fi thriller called Cold Storage. Don't know much about that, except it stars Joe Keery. I think he's from Stranger Things, is he?
I think that one's had an icy reception.
We'll see. If it's terrible, I will pull out all the puns. And the return of Pirates of the Caribbean and Rango director Gore Verbinski in the brilliantly titled Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. Which is, and I swear to God, I'm not making this up, which is, I think, seemingly a sci-fi comedy thriller about Sam Rockwell taking a diner full of people hostage in order to save them, having come back in time to save them from AI. I think that's the movie. I've not seen it yet. I'll see it on Monday, I think, but that's the concept as far as I understand it. I just know it's got an amazing title. Good luck. Have fun. Don't die.
It's what I say to my son when I drop him off to his camp, literally. Quick question in regards to movies. Do you know when we're going to get these 4 Beatle movies?
Oh, is it 28? I think they're in 28.
Really? You've got to wait that long? Oh.
Because they're filming all 4 together.
Oh, are they? I didn't know that.
Yeah, each movie there's 4 movies and each one's about a different Beatle.
I knew that bit. I didn't know they were filming it all at the same time.
I don't know how it's going to work if the 4 movies have to be put together to tell one story. If maybe you see the first quarter from Ringo's perspective, the second quarter from John's, the third. I don't know if that's how it works. Because presumably then you have to end it with presumably either Paul or Ringo, because they're like the last surviving. Although whoever gets put third in that is going to feel really intimidated, I would imagine. But,
I mean, it depends how they've done it, I suppose. I mean, I'm hoping that they've done it really cleverly, and actually each version you watch, you see bits from another version from a different angle.
I'd like it if it was just Rashomon, and it was each movie was the same movie from different perspectives. Like that would be insane. And hats off to Sam Mendes if he pulled that. I almost said Sam Raimi. Sam Raimi's version I'd pay good money to see. But I will get you the exact date on that. I know they're all being released. Is it one a week for a month, or they're all dropping on the same day, or some weird model like that? I think it's one a week for a month. Well,
so for cinemas that only have 4 screens, that's all they're going to be showing.
I mean, yeah. Unless you show John at 10 a.m., Paul at midday. Then
Maybe.
Everyone's wondering why no one shows up for Ringo.
It's the only empty theatre.
Only empty theatres, the Ringo one.
Well, we'll find out a little bit more about that in between now and next week. And of course, we've got all those movies you mentioned to look forward to. But that is, of course, all we have time for this week on Off Screen. We will be back next week. And until then, I've been Adam Ball.
I've been Van Connor. Keep it cinematic, and we shall return.